kids.com. And if you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, kindly do it so that you don't miss any of my videos. So without any delay, let's get started. And today we are going to learn about React forms. Like we create forms in HTML, today we are going to learn how to create forms in React. So without any delay, let's get started. Jam! Okay, so I have opened here uh, our new tab where our basic in the browser where our code is executing, and over here first of all we'll learn how to add a basic form. So over here we have imported React from React, we have imported React DOM, and then we have just created a component myForm that is returning us a form, right? So as we give in HTML, like that only we are giving in, like over here, a form tag, and then we are giving a label tag, right? And in our label tag we are giving our input tag type text. And though this is a self-closing tag, but in JSX over here we are using JSX, and in JSX you need to close all the tags, right? So over here basically we'll have a simple form, right, in which there's a label that will say enter your name, and then there's an input field where we are requesting for the user's name, right? But if you see, if I enter my name and then just enter, it will reload the page, right? So it will reload the page, and that's not usually what we want. So we will now in the next section we'll learn how to handle the forms. Over here it is basically doing it in a default event, right? In the next section we'll learn how to basically um handle a form, right? So handling forms basically. Okay, so over here we have imported React and useState. So we are gonna use the useState hook. If you don't know about the useState hook, do check out my useState video. I'm giving a perfect explanation on the useState hook in that video, right? So we are using the useState hook right now, and then we are importing React DOM also. And in a myForm we are creating a state name, and set name is the corresponding function that will update the value of name, and our initial value is empty string. And we are returning a form in which we have a label tag where we are saying enter your name, and then we have an input field in which we are saying that its type is text, its default value will be whatever value name has. So whatever its default value that will be shown when it is rendered, that will be whatever value name has. And then whenever this input field will be changed, we'll call basically an arrow method, arrow function, right, in which we are getting the event, right, what event it was, and we're just setting the name e.target. So e.target brings us the element on which the event was run, right? So basically on change is happening on this input tag, so e.target will bring this input tag over here, right? And then we are accessing this input tag's value, so on change we'll just get this input tag's value, right? And then that will be set um, as the value of a state. And now now in a state we are able to keep track of what we are entering, right? Whenever the input will be changed, we'll have that in our state. And now we can use a state to basically check for some data, render some data, or add anything. So over here we are, if I enter D, our state will track this. So one way how we can use a state is over here I can just give a fragment close, and in this I can add a heading 1 where I'm writing welcome name. Okay, so the initial value is empty string, so we are just able to see welcome. When we change this, the state is the name variable is keeping track, the name state is keeping track of whatever we enter, and that value is being shown over here because the component is re-rendering, right? So this is quite cool. We are able to handle forms perfectly, right? Now, what if we want to submit the form? We need to do something when the user submits our form, right? So let's see. We are importing React and use state from React. We are importing React DOM then, and then we have a my form component in which we are creating a state name, right? And then its corresponding method is set name that will change the value of name, and the initial value is empty string. Then we are creating a method handle submit. It will get an event, and what we'll do, first of all, we'll do event.prevent default. So whenever a form is submitted, by default it reloads the up page, but event.prevent default will prevent the default behavior, meaning it will stop the default behavior, so it will not reload the page. And after basically stopping the default behavior, we can alert the name you entered was, and then we can, okay, so this needed to be backticks, right? So the name you entered was dollar name. So in backticks, when you give it like this, you are able to access a variable's value, right? So we are returning a form, and whenever this will be submitted, we'll call handle submit. Then we have a label, enter your name, and in which we have a input tag, type text, value is the default value is whatever value the name contains, right? And whenever this will be changed, we are calling an arrow function that is getting an event, and we are just calling set name and passing it e.target.value, so it will basically pass it this input tag's value, right? And when then we have a input type submit, so whenever this will be pressed, basically a form will be submitted, and on submit it is calling handle submit, and in handle submit we'll get an alert of what we entered, right? So over here, if I entered Saion and submit this, the name you entered was Saion, right? Quite cool. Okay, and yeah, this was the components explanation. And basically, after defining a component function component, we just render it, so all the processes happen, right? Then now let's see how can we have multiple input fields, right? Let's see how can we have multiple input fields in our form, right? So we are importing React and use state from React, and then we are importing React DOM. And in a my form component, we have our input state, and its corresponding method is set inputs that will basically change the value of inputs, right? And the default value of the state is basically an empty object. Then we have a handle change method in which we'll get an event, right? We are creating a constant name where we are getting event.target.name, right? So like this we'll get basically uh right. So event.target.name, event.target is referring to the input field that was changed, and its name, basically we are accessing its name property, right? So the name property, whatever the name property has, its value will have, right? And then we have a constant value that will bring event.target.value, that which what is the value of the input field that changed, right? And after getting these both, we are setting the input, right? We are getting our values that we are getting a previous object in this values, right? And basically we are returning a new object, right? We are returning a new object where we will have all our values, right? And like this we are bringing the variable name's value, right? So whatever value, if we want to set basically a property of an object that is a variable's value, so like you have a variable x and its value is high, right? And you want to access x's value, and whatever x's value is, you want to set it as a property name, right? So how you can do it, you can give these square brackets, and then you can give your variable name. So basically you'll have the value of the variable, and that value will be set as your property name. And this property's value is our value variable. So we'll understand this when we'll see our return value. And let's move on to the next method, where and that is handle submit. We are getting an event in it. We are preventing default, whatever happens on submit, we are preventing the default behavior, and then we're just alerting inputs, right? So or whatever our state inputs is, we are just alerting it, right? So yeah, so we'll understand it over here now better, where we have a form, and whenever this will be submitted, we'll call handle submit. So basically handle submit will uh, uh, basically prevent the default behavior and alert whatever is the value of our input state, right? And in this we have a label, enter your name, and then we have an input field, its type is text, its name is username. We are using the name property in our handle change method, right? Its value, its default value is inputs.username, but it is an if it is an empty object, we are saying that just set its default value to empty string, right? And whenever this will be changed, we are calling handle change. Similarly, we have another input field in which we are asking for the user's age, and we have an input tag, its type is number, so we can only accept a number in this input field. Its name is age, so we will use this in our handle change method. And then its value is inputs.age, or if input.age is not defined, then basically we'll have its value will be empty string, its default value. And then whenever this will be changed, right, we'll call handle change method. So when we are calling handle change method, we are getting the event that is on change, right? And then a constant name's value is event dot target. So event dot target is bringing the input field on which basically the event occurred, right? And then we are accessing its name properties value, right? So if this input field is changed, we'll have username in our name variable, and if this input field was changed, we will have age in this variable, right? Then we have constant value equals event.target.value. So on whichever input field will the event happen, we'll get that input field using event.target, and then we can access its value, so whatever its current value is. So if username is changed, we'll get the value of username, uh, basically of this input field. But if this input field is changed, we'll get the value of this input field. And then with set input, we'll get the value of a previous object. Then we are spreading its properties and values out, so all the key value pairs that were there before are coming over here. And then we are bringing the name variable's value, because we want to set that as a property name, right? So we want to bring a variables we want to set a variable's value as a property name. So we can get it by adding it in square brackets, and basically writing the name variable, right? So we can add the square brackets and then say whatever variable's value we want as a property, and it will bring its value and set it as a property. And its value we are saying is the value of the value variable. So whenever this will be changed, a new property will be added to a state, and that will be basically username equals to whatever value we gave over here, right? And whenever this is will be changed, a new property will be added to this use state, where we will write um, um, basically a new key value pair will be added to the state, in which we'll have age equals to uh, whatever value we gave, right? And basically we were using our we were just alerting our inputs object whenever we submitted our form. So let's see now. I give Saion over here, I give 65. That's not my real age. And then I submit this, so we'll have object. Why are we getting object? Because alert shows objects as object, right? If we just console.log, if we just log this out, I'll open the dev tools, I'll open the console. Right, so now if I write my name, Saion, and my age is 11, and submit this, I'll have an object that has username Saion, age 11. If I change the age to like 5, submit this, I have another our state's value has changed, and now its value is username Saion and age 5. Right, quite cool. So this is all working. Okay, so our next is how to add a text area in our form. So over here we are importing React and use state from React, and then we are importing React DOM, right? And in our myForm component we are creating our state text area, and its corresponding method is set text area that will change the value of text area. And the default value of text area is the content of text area goes in the value attribute, right? And then we have a handle change method that will get an event, and basically this whenever our text area value is changed, we are just calling set text area and passing whatever the value is of our text area, right? So it will keep updating, right? It will keep updating the state, right? And what we are returning is a form, and then in that we have a text area, and its default value we are setting whatever the our text area's value default value is. So right, so the default value of the text area will be the value of our text area state, right? The default value of the text area state, right? And whenever this text area's value will be changed, we will call handle change that will update the value of our state, right? So over here like this we'll just have uh, our text area whose default value is this, and we can write anything over here. We are not using the state anywhere, so we can use it anywhere we like when the user submits our form or anywhere, right? This was text area, and then select tag. So I've written something over here. In HTML, the selected value in the drop down list was defined with the selected attribute, right? So in HTML there used to be a selected attribute of all the option tags, right? So whoever we gave this to whichever basically option tag we gave the selected attribute, that basically was selected, right? That came as default in a select field, right, in our drop down menu. But in React the selected value is defined with a value attribute on the select tag. So we need to give a value attribute to a select tag to say which value will be selected in the start, right? So over here we have let's see our code. And this is a final example. Over here we have imported React and our use state hook from React, and then we have imported React DOM, and in a myForm component we have a myCar state and its corresponding method is set myCar that will change the value of our myCar state, and then we have its myCar state is initial value is Volvo, right? And whenever basically our handle change method is called, it will get an event and it will just update the value of set my car using set my car and pass it whatever the value of our input basically our select tag is right now, right? And what we are returning is a form, and in that we have a select tag, and in select tag we are giving the value my car. So my car's value is Volvo, so value is basically equals to Volvo. So this is saying that which is the selected value. So the option tag that has the value attribute equals Volvo, that will be selected. So it is this option tag. So by default this option tag will be selected, and whenever I select our drop down, we choose another thing like another car like Ford Fiat. It is basically we are changing the select tag, so it will basically call handle change, and handle change is basically updating the value of a state, and we can use this state anywhere we like. So our default value is Volvo. We can select anything else. We are not doing anything with the state right now, but we can use it anywhere in our program. Alright, and this was it for forms, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. Thank you, guys. Bye. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep watching my videos. Damn!